Hello everyone, and welcome to today's Odoo webinar Kenya series. In today's discussion, we'll focus on how to set up the payroll for our Kenyan clients. And so basically, I will look at how to do the configuration, the setup, and then I will all do this through a demo. So please stay tuned and enjoy the session. My name is Vivian Anyona. I am a business analyst here at Odoo Kenya, and I'm currently presenting this webinar from our head office here in Nairobi, Kenya, which is also the only office we currently have in Africa. So in this presentation, I will work with a PowerPoint presentation to explain a few slides, and then I will move to our database where I will be able to explain further through a demo. So I will move to the agenda of the day. Okay, so this is the agenda for today. So the first thing will be, why exactly did we decide to develop this localization for our Kenyan market? Secondly, we'll be able to look at this in a demo. And lastly, we'll have a Q&A session whereby I will invite everyone that is watching us either from Kenya or outside to log in their questions, and I will be able to cover those questions at the end of the demo. So why payroll for Kenya? So we want to ensure that our clients can actually comply with what the Kenyan rules or law requires when it comes to payroll. So you'll notice that there are a lot of changes that are actually taking place. New laws are being added. We have currently the housing levy. We have things that are changing currently to do with, for example, the NHIF, NSSF. So we wanted to develop a system that will allow the clients to actually meet these, be compliant with these requirements, and at the same time also be able to make the adjustment as their company grow and also as these rules continue to change. Second, there is the generation of payslip. Within just a single click, you can be able to generate this payslip and issue it to your employees. Then there is also the integration with accounting. We are avoiding a situation where you have one software that generates the payslip and a different software that you're going to extract these payslip entries and probably import. So that is double work. And lastly, we will have also access. So this is for the payroll managers or the HR managers here. So you can be able to generate these different reports from the system and be able to use it when you want to remit the different payments. Okay, so if you want to set up a payroll application in Odoo, what exactly are you supposed to do? The first thing that you start with is installing the different applications. And as you can see from my display, I have around 5 applications. Some of them relates to the payroll itself. We have some relating to accounting, and we have some relating to documents. So the payroll will basically allow you to generate the payroll entries. Then you've got the document that allows you to document the different entries as you generate them every month. And lastly, as an accountant, let's say from the accounting department, you want to ensure that Odoo establishes the link directly so that all these reflect in the different accounting reports that you have. So here, I would say I will need the payroll, of course, and the documentation for the documents. Then I have here the payroll with accounting. So this is what will establish the link between the accounting application and the payroll, and of course we have the accounting report. I will illustrate this in a database. Okay, so this is my database here, and I'm calling my company Odoo, my latest payroll company. So what you'll do is, if you need to do this installation, you need to go to apps. And of course here, you will see a list of all the applications that Odoo have, but I want only to check the apps that are related to my Kenyan market. So I'll remove the filter, and then I will type Kenya. And here again, Odoo will give me a list of all the applications that are actually meant for the Kenyan market. But in this case, I only need what is needed for payroll. So I will apply a filter. And in my filter, I will say I'm looking for a module name. And in this case, does not contain, because it's only the Tremel that is a different item. So I'll do that, and then Odoo will only just give me this application. So in this case, I've already installed. But ideally, if you're looking at this at the first time, you'll always see the activate button. Okay, so the second thing is the basics. So how exactly is our payroll application for the Kenyan market built? So here we have 3 layers or 3 levels. We have what we call a structure, and then inside the structure, a structure type. Inside the structure type, we have a structure. And these structures now will define the different types of employees you have. For example, I have full-time employees, which I'm going to subject to like the statutory items. I'm going to give them their net, but they're going to be able to pay NHIF, NSSF, and pay. So I'll create a specific structure to be able to pay these specific people. Then I have interns, or maybe I have even casual workers. So for my casual workers, for example, or an intern, I will only need to pay them a basic, for example, and maybe I'm giving them some allowances, maybe airtime, travel allowances, depending on whatever activities they are doing for the company. And then at the end of the day, I have the net. So you can come up with only one structure, and then inside that structure, you've got, structure type. Inside the structure type, you've got different types of structures depending on the type of employees you have. And then now inside the structure, I have what we call the rules. So the rules is what you're seeing here: the basic salary, the NHIF, the NSSF pay, and the rest. So what these are is these are formulas. You know, every time when you have a contract with your employee, let's say you're paying someone 80,000, but this person needs to pay NHIF and NSSF. So we develop these rules to allow the system to compute. If this person is getting 8,000, then apply this formula. At the end of the day, this is the match you're supposed to remit to NSSF, NHIF. So I will also just take us to the database so that we look at where exactly this is set. So I'm coming back to my database, and I will go to the payroll application. So on the payroll application, you have the configuration button. Click on it. It will send you directly to the structure types. So on the structure types, as you can see, I have different structures. And inside my structure, I have, so this is my structure. As you can see, it's specifically for my Kenyan market. And I'm paying it monthly. Then inside my structure, I've got the structure type. So here, the structure itself has got 46 records. And these 46 records are actually the rules. So as you can see now, I've opened my structure. And inside my structure, you can see I have all these rules. So there are so many rules, but from this, it doesn't mean that everything is actually going to appear on maybe the employee's payslip. It's just to help with the computation. So I think I will be able to illustrate this more when we get to the demo side. Yeah, so again, these rules are specific to our Kenyan market. So why am I saying this? You realize that different countries have different types of rules. For example, if I go to Uganda, I might find they're paying payee, but the way the Ugandan government wants Uganda to compute its payee is different from how Kenya will compute it. So when it comes to payroll, we do the localization as per the requirement of specific countries, and that's why at this point I'm presenting Kenya. Okay, so there is demo time, but before I get to demo time, I think I will display one more screen and just give you guys like a few minutes. So this is the pad that I have, and I'll just give you like about 2 minutes to scan it. And you're going to be able to log your questions here, and then by the time I come to the end of the demo, I'll have a look at those questions and respond to them. So I'll give you about 2 minutes. Actually, 1 minute I think should be enough. Okay, I think you'll also find the same link on our chat on the YouTube channel, so you can still click on it and also update your questions there. Okay, so I will move into our demo. And so here again, so if you need to pay your an employee, or if you need to pay salaries, of course you need the people to pay. So the first thing you're going to have to do is you have to create the employee and create the contract defining exactly what should be applicable in their specific payslip. And then from there, we can now be able to generate those payslip. So the first thing we'll look at is we'll go to the employee app. And as you can see here, I already have some employees. So I will have a look at Anita Njenga. So the first thing we'll do here is you need to create, you're supposed to click on that new create new button, and then this will allow you to create a new employee. But we look at Anita. So I have Anita Njenga, and Anita belongs to the, okay, in this case I've assigned her to the administrative department, but her role is sales. Then we'll move to work information. Of course, you need to ensure that the work address is Kenya. Then on the private information, so the first thing I will need is I will need a bank account, because I will need to pay their net salary to their specific bank account. So this should actually be added in the system. Number two, I will also need their ID card. So these are details that are also going to appear on their payslip at the end of the month when you issue it to them. So this will be done from what we call the work information button or tab, and then, sorry, the private information tab. And then we'll move to the HR setting tab, and here you also get to add additional information about the employee. So we have here the registration number of the employee, and this is basically the registration number that you'll give an employee in your company. Let's say there is employee number 1, number 2. In this case, I have employee number 089. Then there is the NSSF number, there is the KRA PIN, and there is the NHIF number. So these are very, very important, because they are going to, at the end of the day, reflect on your employee's salary. Sorry, on your employee's payslip. After this, you will save, and of course now we'll go to create a contract, which we have over here. So here, because I'm creating this from, this was created directly from the employees app. Anita will always already be populated. So we will have, label this Anita Njenga's contract. Then on the start date, you say exactly when did Anita start working for you. For example, Anita started working in 1st February 2023. And then because Anita is my full-time employee, I have, I'm not sure of when Anita will actually leave my company. So I will leave the contract end date open. But if you have someone that you have defined dates or period, you can always be able to indicate the end date. Then of course, always ensure that you've selected the Kenya employee. In this case, we want to ensure that Odoo generate the payslip and include the statutory items. So I need to select the Kenya employee. Then now on the salary information tab, here is where you get to define those items based on what you agreed with Anita. So the first item is wage. There is a wage of 80,000. In this case, is basically the basic pay. And then I also have food allowance that my company is giving Anita. In this case, there is the food allowance of 4,000, and then there is airtime allowance of 3,000. Then my company works also with, I would say, maybe AAR, or it can be another different insurance company. And I have agreed with Anita that every time from her salary, we'll be paying 3,600. So the items that you're going to set at contract level, the ones that you're going to define at contract level, are actually going to be items that are fixed. You see, the salary will remain 8,000 until the next time when I will sit down with Anita and discuss that. The food allowance will remain 4,000, airtime 3,000, and voluntary medical also 36,000 until that time when the company will decide to change. So those elements, I will set it at contract level. So after that, you save this. And always ensure that this contract is running, because you cannot pay an employee that is new. In this case, new means that you are still processing this person's document. Running, it means that this is an active employee. If it's expired, of course, it means this person no longer works with you. Cancel, you choosing to not to go ahead with this specific employee. So I have my employee now. I have my contract. I need to start making some payment. Okay, so the payment will be done from the payroll application. Okay, so of course this is the dashboard view that we will get, but if I need to generate the payslip for my employees, what I will need to do is I'll need to go to work entries. Okay, so just to define the work entries a bit. Okay, so what exactly do you mean by work entries? In this case, a work entry defines the scheduled time that is allocated for an employee to work. And it's also going to put into consideration the off days that a specific person wants to, has taken in a specific month. So if I click, for example, you can see like on first we have 2 columns. For example, let's check Collins. Okay, I will look at an entry where, okay, so why we are seeing this is that I've already generated payslip, I think, from the test I was doing. So I will move to, let's say, November. And in November, if we click here, for example, we can see that there is the morning hour. Here it's stating work starts at 8 a.m. and it's going to end at 12. But then the afternoon session starts from 1 p.m. and it goes all the way to 5 p.m. Okay. So from there now, I'm going to generate payroll. Okay, so here I will just generate for, let's say, November or even October, because I've already done a few tests on the other months. So basically, when you have these, this is automatically extracted from how you've set the database. In this case, I have 40 hours per week as my work schedule. So I'll click on Generate Payslips. And once you do that, automatically Odoo will add them into a batch. So you can see this is a batch of October 1st to October 31st, 2023. And in this case, I have 2 payslips for my workers. So if you open it, of course, you have the payslip number, the name of the employee, also the batch name, the basic amount that you're paying this person, the gross wage. So here it's, of course, factoring in the allowances. I have food allowance of 4,000 and airtime allowance of 3,000, making it 87,000. And then this is what has been computed, which I'm just about to look at. So I'll open one payslip for Anita. And basically, when you open it, the first thing you're going to see is, of course, these are the number of days worked that specific month. Then you can go to salary computation. So based on what we saw on the rules, all these are rules that apply to our Kenyan payroll regular. All these are just items that Odoo is doing. As you can see, these are different calculations that are being done in the system based on how those rules were set. But now, again, Anita pays for help. And she has agreed that she wants to pay 4,500 every single month to cover for help. So we have something we call other input. And what goes into other inputs are those items that you want to pay your employee, but they keep changing. In this case, Anita can decide today I want to pay 4,500. But next month she's got more money, or she wants to even pay the remaining balance. So she tells me, okay, I want you to cover the remaining 70,000 from my salary. So it's something that will change depending on what the employee wants, or maybe what the company also wants. So I'll put this here, and I'll look at help. So already I also have help as a rule configured in the system. And then I will add the amount here as 4,500. Then from there, you need to compute the sheet. Remember, previously the system was capturing the net pay and the other entries without help. But now that I've introduced a new item on the pay slip, I need to tell the system to compute this. So I'll click compute. And then now the system, from this, the system will be able to change this. And this is now still in the waiting button because we need to be able to generate the entries. So I'll go back to my payslip, and here I'm assuming my second employees. As you can see, it's changed from, I think it was 63, it's changed to 59. So now here I will have a list of all the employees that I have in my company that I will need to be able to make the payment. So what I can do, I can go to my work entries. My batch. Here, of course, you can also be able to check it from here. And this I'm looking at 2023 October. So we can also have a look at it from here. So I'll try to... So I'm looking at this 10th October 2023. So as you can see, this has just been confirmed. And now I need to create the batch entry. So what exactly does this mean? A batch entry is what now will allow the link between accounting and the payroll, and also a link between the payroll and the document app. So so now what we'll do at this point is we'll click, and you'll notice that the status is also going to change here. So if I click this, then I will proceed. Okay, I'll give it a few minutes to update. Perfect. So as you can see, this I need to mark it as paid, but we'll need to still be able to pay our employees. So the first thing I'll do is we'll just move to the document app. And so we see that integration. Okay, so in the document app, you have got different workspace. So I'll say a workspace is like a folder that will allow you to put documents of the same type in one place. So here I'll go to HR folder, workspace, sorry. And then under HR, of course, here I have a list of all the employees that I have, but I'm looking for information for Anita. So I'll type Anita, but then I'm looking at documents called Anita. So as you can see, Odoo will just give me information related to Anita, and I can put it in a list view, because again, I'm looking at data that okay, so here, as you can see, I have a different time. So okay, I have different tests that I've done, of course, but right now we are at 2 p.m. Okay, just a minute. I will check my messages, my email. Okay, so I will just activate what we call a developer mode to make sure that I have all features appearing. And then I will check email. So I'm going to check my emails. Yeah, so as you can see here, okay, so the reason why, again, this is still not reflecting is we have what we call a scheduler, which normally is something that has been set to send out these mails at a specific time. So here I have them still holding, so I need to click send. Then I will go back to my document app. Let's see if this got updated. Okay, I will check my time zone. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so basically, I will be able to just illustrate showing one of the payslip that I have. Okay, so ideally, you'll have something like this. So here we have Anita Jenga, and in this case, okay, yeah. So as you can see here, from this sample here, we have it populating the different identification number. It's setting that this person is a full-time employee. There is the NHIF number, NSSF, KRA. There's even the email, and we also have the manager and the position, the name, and we also have the period that this payment was done. The next thing, okay, so on these entries here, we have, as you can see, it's showing us the attendance, and then I can see that I have my food allowance of 4K, airtime, and it's showing me that in this case, all these are untaxed allowances, so my gross is 87, Anita's gross is 87. But then the gross taxable is this much, so it's showing us how much income tax it is. There is an NHIF relief, there is the medical insurance relief. I think these are items that, of course, HR managers will understand based on how the Kenyan law works. Then there is a personal relief that has been indicated also, and then there is the housing levy. Then we have the payee, we've got the NSSF, and we also have the NHIF exact amount. Then there is the health, and there is the voluntary medical insurance. So you have your total deduction, and at the end of the day, Anita is supposed to walk home with 59,926. So this is what you will have, and of course from here you have the option to also download it and give it to the employees. So this is what we basically have, depending on what your company offers. Okay, so I will go back to payroll. And then let's check the specific entry. So I'm looking for the batch for October. Yeah. So from here, we'll also have a look at the specific payroll under the other info. So exactly how does Odoo establishes this link between a salary, the payslip, and the accounting? So when you click create batch entries, the system will automatically generate a draft, and this is what now will be linked to our accounting application. So you can see from here you have different entries depending on how much the employee is supposed to contribute on each entry, and exactly how much is also supposed to go to be paid as net for the employee. So let's have a look at how this is set up on the rules, the account. So of course, you're going to have a chart of account in your company, and you'll have a specific account that, for example, will capture the gross salary or the basic salary, the pay, the NHIF. So how exactly will this be set on the rule? So let's have a look, for example, at the basic salary. There's a button called accounting. And then because the basic salary is an expense for my company here, I'm going to debit this account. And I will use an example of, let's say, payee. So for payee, this is a liability for my company or a payable. So I'm going to credit it. And once this is done, of course, the system will automatically just be able to populate all these entries. So again, one special thing about our system is we've set it up in such a way that it will enable your companies on the accounting department to actually know how much they're supposed to remit, especially when it comes to the government. The items that will be done will be extracted from the employee's salary, but there are parts of it that will come from the company. A good example is NSSF. If NSSF, for example, Anita in this case, and in NSSF, Anita is supposed to pay 1080, then the company is supposed to also contribute the same 1080. But Anita, this is the company's contribution will not appear on the specific payroll for Anita, payslip for Anita. But on accounting side, the accountant needs to make sure that this entry reflects. So if you check that, okay, we also have the same case when you have housing levy. The percentage or the amount that the employee contributes at that point will be treated as a liability, but the amount that the employer will contribute towards the employee's AHL is also going to reflect, and it's for the company that's going to be an expense. We also have NITA that is paid by the company. So let's just have a look at this from the payslip side. So I will check my batch for October. And I will open Anita's, check my draft entry. And then, so from here, I can see that I have, for example, I have the AHL here. And I also have AHL here. So you can see there is the employer contribution, and there is also the AHL employees contribution. The same to NSSF, and then there is also the pension fund. So the system automatically knows that these are computations that are supposed to be done, and it comes from whatever contribution comes from a specific employee's salary. Then, of course, to be able to ensure that this reflects in your accounting, you'll need to post it. Yeah, and just like that, after posting it, let's go back and just have a look at it from accounting side. So this is how our accounting application looks like, and I have here a journal that I'm calling salaries. So I'll open it and then I'll check my journal entries. So by default, I'm gonna have these specific entries here, but then I will duplicate this page. So I will check the entries for this period again. Check Anita. Okay, so when I'm looking at Anita's entries, I will go here. I just want to check the final. So this is 89. And then here I'm looking at these entries from October. Then I'll click on it. So as you can see, this is the same entry that we have when I'm looking at it. Here I'm in payroll application, but I can see this same entry. As you can see, it's the code here. The reference number is actually this, and you can see it's the same as what I'm seeing when I'm in the accounting application. So let's have a look at how now your accountant will be able to make the payment. So always you'll see that we've got the register payment button here, and this is what you're supposed to click. Then the payments will be made for the different employees. So at the moment, this is done one by one, and it's something that we are also still developing to ensure that if you have, for example, let's say 100 employees, you can actually be able to just select and click on it, and then it will generate the pay entries. But as of now, I will be able to generate these entries just by clicking register payment for Anita. So here again, it asks the bank. So there is a bank journal that I of course have if I look at my accounting application, of course. This is my bank journal. So all the entries are supposed to come from this point, and I'll simply just create it. And just like that, Anita's payment would be done. So, but then when it comes to other entries, for example, NSSF, NHIF, pay, I think the HR managers in this meeting will agree with me that there are different times that you are going to remit them. So of course, all those entries, you're going to find them if you check your reports, for example, if it's a balance sheet, you check your report. Last financial year. Okay, sorry, this is the P&L. Yeah, so of course, if you check your different entries, you will be able to know, I will filter as of last financial year. Yeah, so I can be able to see here that I actually have got different things. So depending on what exactly I'm supposed to remit, I have something on NITA, which is supposed to be paid to NITA, or people receiving NITA. NHIF will go to NHIF. The pension fund, I have this much. Net wage for the employees that probably I haven't paid yet, I'll be able to see all these entries here. And then at the point where you, of course, make those payments, then you will have to come and do the reconciliation later on. But basically, just for the accounting part, I will be able to just explain that this is what you will basically see when you check your different reports. Yeah, so that is the bit about the accounting side. So the last item that we will look at is on the reports. So we currently have these 3 reports, and let's say we need to generate NSSF report, for example. And I need to generate an SSF report for the month of October 2023. So here, as you can see, I only had Zainab and I only had Anita. So what the system does normally with the NSSF, we've got tier 1 and we've got tier 2. So how the government requires that we actually generate this is that you always have to indicate what exactly goes to the tier 1 and tier 2. As you can see, there are different codes, and then you simply just print this. And basically, this is what your report will look like if you're looking at it from an Excel file. So I'm going to just increase the font. So this is what you will see when you're looking at this, and then you can use this information, of course, to be able to remit your taxes. Sorry, your NSSF. For the NHIF, check 2023. So here I will simply just click on that, and again Odoo will show me what exactly I'm supposed to remit. Yeah, so here, okay, this has extracted all the employees that I paid salary. And yeah, so as you can see, this information, you can actually be able to use it to to remit these entries to this to NHIF. Yeah, so we also have a P9 form, which I will just illustrate how it basically works. So here, what you'll need to do is you'll need to select the year. As you can see, I already have some employees, so you just need to select the year, and from there you'll have this populate button active, and then you save it, then you will check it. So of course here it's being queued because it will take me probably a few minutes. Then you'll need to generate the payslip and post it. So here I have also a scheduler that is supposed to run after some time. So this could take us a bit of time to check. But again, we'll also have to look at this so that we ensure that it doesn't queue for quite some time. But basically, these are the 3 types of reports that we have. The tax deduction is actually what we call a P9. then NHIF, and the NSSF form. So, yeah, so that's it for our presentation today for the demo part. I think I will welcome a session for the Q&A. Okay. Okay, so I guess I will just be able to display it from here. So let's have a look at, okay, so I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much for your comment. On the first question, hi, is the Kenyan payroll module available in version 17? Yes, it is available in version 17. It's available since 16. Okay, yeah, so here's a link I think I've shared for you. But what we have in version 16 actually contains the old laws. So you probably may not be able to find AHL or the new changes that have been updated in version 17. The second thing is how should we handle casual workers on Odoo? Yeah, so again, here you will create different structures within the Kenyan structure. So as I'd explained, if you just go back to the database. So if you remember the slide that I displayed about how exactly our salary structure is actually built, or our payroll is built, we have a structure, and inside the structure we have, so we have a structure type, and if inside a structure we have inside a structure type we have a structure. So what you're going to do in this case, you're going to have to create a new structure, and here we'll say this is my casual worker, and of course it's on the Kenya payroll, and you can see here also Odoo tries to give you some options. Then now it will be up to you to set the rules the way you want. So basically you can just check how these rules are. You have to write them depending on how exactly you're going to compute them. You'll have to set that up. So now if you go to our Kenya, you can see now I have two structures. If I open, it shows me I have regular Kenya, which has 46, and the casual worker has 8 structures. Third, how should I handle casual work? Okay, that has been done. How do we handle statutory deduction like NHIF and NHIF that are paid twice monthly on 15th? And yeah, so again, if you have so here you realize that when you're generating your structure, you have here how exactly do you want to pay these people. So you have to define. Okay, let's check. Yeah, so here you'll always be able to define. As you can see, there are different ways. You can have a payroll type that you're paying once a day, sorry, every day, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. So you can actually define how you want to pay the people on that specific category of employee. And automatically, based on how that has been set, you can actually be able to reflect here. So this is a case where, of course, I'll put the same employees in the same structure if I'm going to use monthly, because I can only have one type of structure that will define how I'm paying my employees. But in this case, I need to have employees that are paid bi-weekly, sorry, twice a month, what I will need do in this case is I will establish a different structure, because now at structure level, I can easily define that this I will pay bi-monthly. And then when you check your specific payroll, you can see here I have bi-monthly. So only put the structures that are paid, the structures that are paid in the same scheduled pay duration within one structure. If there is one that is defined differently, create a different structure for it. Can you enter payment to M-Pesa instead of bank transfer? Yeah, so here again, yes, you can choose to pay the employee from an M-Pesa journal. So again, this is just about the different methods you're going to pay. So this is more of accounting. I can pay via cash if I want. I can pay via M-Pesa. So here I would need to just simply create another journal for M-Pesa. And in this case, okay, just to illustrate really quick, just duplicate, and I can say that this is my M-Pesa journal. So you could be having even multiple banks that are paying. Maybe you have a bank account with KCB, you have another bank account with Equity, you have two different M-Pesa number. So you'll be able to just create the different journals, and when you come to your dashboard, you'll be able to see I have my M-Pesa here, so I can use this to pay my different employees. A contract item fix given for Kenya employee, or can someone customize? Okay. Okay, so here I believe is related to maybe some rules and configurations. So again, what I've said here is related to just what my company, in this case, my latest payroll, offers. But you realize one company, in my case, I'm giving my employees food allowance and airtime allowance. But other companies will be giving, for example, there is fuel allowance. Some of them will be giving housing allowance. So in such a case, if your company offers that, then it's your responsibility now to come here in the structures and create a rule for that. I'll create a rule and say this is my housing allowance, for example. So here I can just simply add a line, and I can say that this is my, for example, housing allowance. And I can give it a type, for example, is an allowance. I can give it a code, for example, H allowance as my code. And then here, of course, I can now define the rule. So here, as you can see, it can be a Python code, or it can be just a fixed amount. For example, you just say that I want to be paying my employees, for instance, 20,000. Something like that, and you simply save. So anytime you do this computation, the system will factor in that specific item that you've added. Okay, so how can I connect to Teams specific configuration? Okay, so this I would say is specific to accounting, because again, Teams is linked to accounting, the commercial side and also the payroll side. So I think this is a different setup, and there are, I think, videos, and also here's the documentation, so you can check how this works and try to set it up. So this, I would say in this case, it's not, I would say, directly related to like the discussion today. It's a completely different topic. But just go through this documentation. And in case you have further questions, I think I will be able to give you a link to our team, and you can send us a message, and we will help you configure this. How can I add overtime in the payslip and not taxable amount, say the salary arrears? So yeah, so again, that is a case where this is an overtime. So this is an entry that is manual. Not every time your employees are going to have overtime. So again, this is something that for me, I would say I would add it as maybe another input. but you also need to define it in the system in such a way that Odoo will be able to know whether these should be taxed or not taxed. So I'm actually just going to illustrate, because setting that up will take me a lot of time, but I will illustrate it based on how I've set up like the airtime. So for example, for the food allowance, we have a minimum where up to 4,000 will not be taxed. So as you can see here, we've created a rule here. And okay, this is some Python codes. I may not be able to really explain much because of the codes, but it's up to you to know like at what point or after how much money is supposed to be taxed and what is not supposed to be taxed. Then you tell the system, so that anytime you enter this overtime as another input type, the system will check, is it above the mark, the minimum that is supposed to be untaxed, and then it will put into consideration the other amount that is supposed to be taxed. So again, this is something that you need to understand how it's set up and be able to configure the specific rule yourself. So I think you can also use just a guide on the way this has also been set to help you understand how that can be set up on the system. Okay, so please add pension contribution so that we can test the computation properly. Okay. So again, so we'll just check something. So for Anita, so of course we've got here the pension contribution, and we also got the pension allowance. So basically this is where you'll be able to add, for example, 1,000, and we can try to generate that. So I'll just select a month that I haven't generated an entry. Okay, so let's have a look at probably August, and I will select Anita. Okay, so a validation issue. Okay, so I'll go back to my structure type. I will check housing allowance. Okay, so for now I will do away with this. Then we'll try to generate that. Okay, so let's check this, Anita. Okay, seems I ran into a few issues as I was changing a few things here and there on the rules. So I will request that maybe the person who posted this can just send me an email. So my email address is here. So just send me a mail, and then we'll be able to look at this together with you. So what is AHL? So this is a housing levy, affordable housing levy. I think is okay. It's one of the latest rules that our President Ruto has added on payslip. Do we have report on pay, NSSF and NHIF? So we have the P9 report, NSSF and NHIF. I think I've illustrated this. So there are no pay, net pay reports, pension report, other deductions. So at the moment we only have a P9, NSSF and NHIF. So of course this is something that we are still working on. So also when we get feedbacks from you, we'll still be able to factor this in and continue the development. How fast do you update the changes in law? Okay, I would say as fast as possible. So of course, certain things we need to understand, normally we need to understand how the computations are done. And then from there, we will send these requests to our developers, and then they will be able to write it, to do tests. And after doing these tests, we can actually now be able to update you. So normally I wouldn't be able to tell you that it will take 1 month, because again, it depends on how these rules will actually be computed, and also how these structures will be set within the system by our developers. But the thing is, we try to make it as soon as possible. Okay, so I think that is a conversation we can have as of next month. When the government approves that, we'll be able to factor in. So because it's not yet been initiated, I think that is a conversation that we'll look at in future. But of course, anytime these changes happen, we factor in. The goal here is to make sure that our payslip, our payroll application is as up to date as possible to ensure that our clients are compliant with the statutory requirements. Okay, please provide more context. You can create employees with basic work schedule. Then you can generate work entries and finally generate payslip based on this schedule. Employees do not need to be users in the system in this feature. Yes, so again, that is the exact form. You will generate an employee and assign them the work schedule, and of course generate work entries to be able to issue this payslip. So for the payslip app here, employees can become portal users. They don't need to be users on the system to have access to this information. Is it possible using the employee timesheet attendance app to track the amount of time employees ongoing? For example, we can track time completed by operators, individual. We can API pull this data to measure the performance. Yes, so of course, this is something that can also be done. But again, this is a different setup. Here we are looking at just payroll, but we've got other videos that will show you the integration between payroll and other time off apps. We have attendance, we have timesheets, we've also got leaves and leaves. So all you need to do is just check the videos online. The same integration that is there is the same setup that you're going to use when you're on our payroll application for Kenya. I have added some field on contract field and added some allowances and deduction and gone to the rules. Also added the rules, but the deductions do not reflect after running a payment. What might be the issue? Okay, so again, I can say I may not be able to determine just by the question, but maybe it's the way you wrote the rule, or maybe how you've set this up using Studio. So this is more of something that requires further investigation. So again, if you need further help with this, my email is here. Just send me an email and we can have a look at it together. Can one add items on payslip like leave information and overtime so that employees can see the number of normal or holiday time that they have paid? Yes, again, this I would say is linked to this video here. You need to just set up your off correctly. And then when it comes to this overtime, depending on also how much you've assigned, the system should be able to do the computation the right way. So just check the video on YouTube, this video that has been shared on top here, and it will give you further information as to on how to cover this part. Can one generate P9 in Odoo? Yes, it's included. Can you do a demo? Generate P9? Yeah, so again, I've just illustrated how that can be done. And get some time and just have a look at it to test it out. Please showcase the payroll batch. An aspect of privacy come in when the batch is sent to accounts. The account team should only see a lump sum amount and not individual entries. Okay, so as my colleague here explained, the batch entries here is just supposed to help you put these pay slips into a specific group. But now when it comes to issues to do with access rights, I think if you've used our system before, you know that this is something that can be found on the access rights under the settings app. So you will have different items. Here I have, for example, 2 users. So you have the access rights here. Depending on what exactly are you checking, you have, for example, payroll. What exactly do you want these people to see? And also on the accounting. So this is something that you can check out. So again, there are videos available on how to set different access rights on the system. So I think that's something you can also be able to check. Is there a payroll summary list for statutory payment listing all the item? One on page. Yeah, again, test the module and then you will be able to see a summary of all those items that are listed on the statutory. And of course, if you need further help, I would also indicate that, of course, it's something that also you can be able to just email us and we'll be able to look at that space, because this is actually too specific. It's something that I may not be able to really illustrate just within this presentation. Why am I getting an error trying to generate my NHIF, NSSF? So here it's actually difficult to determine, but there's maybe a possibility that probably there could be a bug. Sometimes it happens. So as explained here, you can create what we call a support ticket, and one of our team members will be able to reach out to you and help you to reset that. Do the NHIF and SSF payee rules come with the Kenyan payroll module? Yes, so right now, as long as you install the module for payroll for Kenya, you should have all those statutory items automatically updated. So always ensure you selected the Kenyan one. If I have not integrated the attendance system I currently use, can I still use payroll and manually adjust where needed to post the payroll using other softwares for attendance and payroll? At the moment, entering payments manually into Odoo. Yes, so again, if you remember, I had mentioned about the other input. So the other input will allow you to, we have this here, will allow you to add items that will keep changing. So for example, in this case, the attendance, there's a day where maybe someone will miss and you don't probably want to pay for the days that this person missed the attendance. So that means you will manually compute those entries and you will have an option here that we'll call probably attendance. So you need to create that input, that attendance. And then, so when you go to the salary and the other input section, you should be able to populate it the same way I populated help. So if I check this, so you'll have this and you'll already have that set. So you can automatically just add the other input for the attendance. My company base currency is USD. Can I run payroll in cash? Here again, the question is, what is your company's main currency? If in this case it's set into in USD, then I believe that by default probably it will, okay. Okay, so these I would actually be able to check more on this. But just as written here, I think there are alternative currencies. Okay, what I can say is in our accounting application, there is a provision for multi-currencies. But what I will need to check is actually if when I'm sending this specific payroll to my employees, will it reflect it in USD or will it reflect it in Kenya shillings? So I think that part, kindly allow me to check, and please just send me an email. Let me not give you an answer that may not be clear. Again, just send me an email here and then I will have a look at it and give you feedback. So our last question is, how would I be able to track third-party loans and pay them through the payroll? Okay, so here again, this is not clear. I'm assuming maybe an employee took payroll from loan from another company and wants you to pay. So again here, I'll just treat it as another input, whereby the employee will be able to state to you how much they have taken in loan and how much they want you to deduct from their salary. And then from there, you manually add it and compute, and Odoo will automatically just deduct these from the net that the employee is supposed to receive. And just like that, this information will be able to, you'll be able to see it under your payslip. So I think that is the last question I have. So what I will mention again is that, of course, this platform is available. We have a 15-day trial. So what you can do is simply go to odoo.com. Just simply go to odoo.com and you can create a new database, and you have a 15-day trial. So try to test this out and see how the different entries will work, the different reports will be generated, and how it also impacts accounting. And I believe if you have any further questions, of course, our team is available to help you with the configurations. So that's it from me today. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Bye-bye.